Hello everyone! In today's video, I will be talking about how I've been using Evernote lately to completely revamp the way I regard productivity, my to-do lists, and general organization. I also want to thank Skillshare for partnering with me to help me deliver this video today. Actually, I learned most of the things I will be talking about here in a couple of Skillshare classes solely dedicated to using Evernote to improve your productivity. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in dozens of categories, including productivity, motivation, and note-taking skills. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts working in their fields, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. Skillshare is also more affordable than most learning platforms out there. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Also, the first 500 people to click the link in the description box below will get their first 2 months of unlimited classes for free, and I will also be listing the classes I watched on Evernote in the description box so you can get started in mastering this program. As most of you know, I've been on a journey to slowly transition from paper to digital notes, planning, and bullet journaling. This journey started when I became aware of the clutter and waste of paper that my love for stationery was causing in my home. Besides, I wanted to broaden the scope of tools I have to also include more portable, inexpensive, and environmentally friendly ways to be productive and organized. I still use paper, but I am now much more aware of the products I buy and if I actually need them in my life, instead of just buying them for the sake of collecting stationery and office supplies. Although I was able to make a smooth transition from a planner to an incredible productivity tool in my digital calendar, one thing I was missing was the ability to keep all of my notes in the same place, just like I would do with a typical bullet journal. I have been using Evernote since I was a teenager, but it was only during this transition phase that I actually started to love it and understand its potential. Before I go on talking about this particular app, I have to make a disclaimer regarding why I actually use it. I currently have a MacBook Pro, an iPad, and an Android phone. Unfortunately, because I'm not fully into the Apple ecosystem yet, the Notes app is almost useless, because it does not sync with my phone. As such, as long as I have my current phone, I had to find a third-party alternatives that could synchronize between macOS, iOS, and Android seamlessly, and since I was already familiar with Evernote, I decided to give it a go one more time. Evernote has the advantage of having a great free version. I'm actually paying for the Plus version because I enjoy having the app synchronized between 3 devices and all of my notes available offline, but I have been using the free version for years and it offers all the features that the paid version does that I actually need. The paid version offers more in terms of formal note-taking abilities, like the ability to annotate PDFs and create presentations, increased monthly uploads and note size, but for lists and basic note-taking, I think that the free version goes a long way. Basically, I categorize notes in Evernote by creating separate notebooks for different purposes. My current notebooks are for brainstorming, ideas, notes and to-dos, recipes, snippets, and YouTube-related stuff. My brainstorming notebook is mainly composed of handwritten notes using my iPad and Apple Pencil because I prefer to mind map while brainstorming. This is also where I jot down notes during meetings or Skype calls. All of the notebooks can be separately shared with other people who also use Evernote, so it's a great place to store documents and notes on the go when you are working on a group project. Of course, you have other great options like Google Drive or Google Docs, as well as Dropbox to share files and editable documents, so it adapts depending on your personal preference. Evernote is a powerful but very minimalistic editor and organization app. It does not allow for tons of customization in terms of color or file managing, so it can definitely displease some people who have very thorough or complex organization systems. I really like its simplicity to keep very simple and minimalistic lists, just as the ones I'm going to show you in a bit, but I also would never be able to use it as a note-taking app, a document editor app, or as my general filing system. In bullet journal style, I like to keep a few lists with me at all times, so I'm able to check off things on my day-to-day life. For instance, in my notes and to-do notebook, I have a general list called Stuff to Restock that acts as a main shopping list and is shared between two people. I divide the items I usually buy for my home in categories, and as soon as something runs out, I check the box next to the item. This immediately synchronizes with all my devices and all the people sharing this particular notebook, so I can keep track of everything I need to buy as soon as I go shopping for groceries without keeping physical lists. As soon as I buy those items, I remove the check marks and I start with a blank slate. Other less used lists that I keep in my particular notebook include a very rough draft of my YouTube plan for the next 6 months, a bucket list, a main packing checklist, lists of books I want to read, my 25 before 25, some lists of documents for my master's thesis, and so on. Having all of these stored in all my devices makes it very handy to keep on track with my goals. For instance, you can configure your Evernote app in your computer as a startup program to launch whenever you turn on your computer. I tend to keep it open all the time to stay accountable for my project checklists. If you are wondering where I keep my daily to-do list and scheduled events, you should check out my calendar blocking video where I talk about how I started using this technique to block the time in my calendar to dedicate all my attention to a specific task. I have been using this system for almost 4 months and it has been a lifesaver. For that, I will leave a link in the description box as well as in the upper right corner of your screen. Evernote also helps you organize your notes independently of storing them in specific notebooks by allowing you to use tags. These work pretty much in the same way as tags work in social media. Basically, for each note you create, you are able to insert a couple of different keywords that represent its content, even if you feel like they should be scattered between different notebooks. Searching for those tags again to find that content becomes easier. For instance, in my tags list, I have the word YouTube. When I click it, Evernote lists all the notes identified under the YouTube tag. Some of these notes are stored in my brainstorm notebook, others in my ideas notebook, and others in my to-dos. It's a clever little way to make sure you stay on track with different topics while also keeping a very flexible management system. Finally, I want to mention the Evernote extension that allows you to quickly jot down notes while you are working on your computer, doing some research, etc. It has 4 modes. You can either write a note manually, clip full screen, clip a specific window on the computer, or record audio. Independently of the mode you choose, the result will be saved in a note that you can then rename, retag, and reorganize in the notebook of your choice. This function can come really in handy if you are conducting heavy research on your computer, watching video lessons, or simply annotating some documents. And this is all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed this week's tutorial and I will see you next week with more tips on productivity and organization. Bye!